Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be testing the Ferrari 488 GTB in multiplayer in Asphalt 9. This is the best car to use in the J50 season, considering that hardly anybody is going to be able to max the J50. I will also be testing the Asterion, which is probably the third best one, so my car is only 3-starred unfortunately. However, as we will see in this video, it still does quite well. All upgrades and import parts are applied that can be at this level. In this video are 2 great races on Rome, followed by 5 sequential races that took me to a very high rating this multiplayer season, up to 1885 with just a 3-star 488. Later in the video, I'll explain exactly why I wanted to get top 100 so badly this multiplayer season. So one of the people in front of me gets knocked down, one of them leaves the track, and I accidentally knocked down the other one. And so we've got a free roam for the rest of this race. This rarely happens. So we come in first and reach 1800 rating. Now in this next race, we are facing 7 other people, and this was an interesting race because it's on one of my least favorite Rome tracks, one of the ones that has this horrible section at the beginning where everybody 360s on these ramps and everybody gets knocked down. At least that's what it seems like to me. And this was one of those weird races where everybody just kind of fell away, and I somehow managed to get into first position, even with that weird physics thing happening right there. So one reason I am trying very hard to get top 100 this season is if I get top 100, I will get 10 guaranteed Fenner blueprints. And I need exactly 10 to 5-star my Fenner, which will be very nice because hopefully we get some sort of open season coming soon. I know they're going to be testing a lot of new kinds of seasons with new rules and stuff, but hopefully an open season is in there somewhere and I can show you how that car does at 5 stars. At 4 stars, it's already really awesome. At 5 stars, I just can't imagine. So since I've been driving this car quite a bit since reaching Legend League, I haven't really driven the Asterion since then. I've noticed it to be quite a stable car usually. Now sometimes it does have some physics issues, but in my experience it hasn't had nearly as many as the Asterion has. That car, while being very fun to drive, just bounces all over the place and has all sorts of physics problems. So here we've come in first, beat that other 4A GTB which was 4-starred, as well as 6 Asterions. Even in Legend League, you will mostly find Asterions, the reason being you face a lot of people with lower rating than you, because currently I'm around 1800, and a lot of the Asterions I'm facing are between 1600 to 1650 rating. And here, one guy knocks 3 people down at once. That is the first triple kill I think I have seen in Asphalt 9. I went over to the right here, even though going left is faster, so as to avoid getting knocked down by those people there, and thankfully one of them knocks down the other, and the one who dealt the knockdown got slowed down a lot, so I'm now into first position. It's always nice when you can pass people when they get slowed down and you don't have to worry about a near pass, which may result in a 360. Which yes, has happened multiple times this season. Now, I will also be making a video probably next week about the Asterion, which I have at 4 stars, in some races a bit earlier in this season. I will not be probably making a video about the J50, because I do not have that car, and while a couple people in RPM had volunteered to do races for me because they had 2-star J50s, they found that the car just was not all that great, and they kept getting knocked down, so you probably won't see a video with that car, unfortunately, but you're really not missing much. It is not that great from what I've heard. So we are coming up to the end of this race, shockwaving around the final turn, and coming in first position, beating a 4-star 488, as well as 5 Asterions. You guys may be wondering, why is my club name Legions for Khan instead of Legions United? Well, there is a guy in RPM named Khan who is currently fighting lymphoma cancer, I believe it is, and so as a gesture of respect to him, the Legions United clubs on Windows have taken this name, at least for a while. Things even worked out such that he was able to get his own cup in Asphalt 8, so guys, please be praying for him. Alright, so in this race, we are facing 4 other 488 GTBs. Yes, that's a lot in one race compared to the previous ones, as well as 2 Asterions. Now, all of the other cars in this race are 4-starred, meaning that this should be quite interesting, and I am an underdog. So after this ship here, there is a very big turn to the left. One good thing to do is to wall ride the edge here, either with a shockwave or a perfect nitro, because you don't lose speed as you would if you just drifted around. There's some guy that hit me in midair and I knocked him down. Not exactly sure how that happened, but I'm very glad it did and not the other way. And we are left with just one guy left to catch up with. Now, I've started going over to the right here. A lot of people have been doing this for a while, but I just started doing it. Thankfully, I get a perfect run at the perfect time and are able to stay in second position. We lose to one of the 4-star 488s, but we do beat 3 other ones. Now for a very close race against an Asterion. In this race, we are facing 5 Asterions and a Ferrari 488 GTB, just one this time. This is actually one of my least favorite variants of San Francisco because of these turns at the beginning, which the best way to get around is actually to drift and then to shockwave. And then there's a problem here with a very narrow road and cars on either side and people hitting them and stuff going all over the place and people falling off into the water. I really do not like it, but me and this Asterion up here managed to get through unscathed. Oh yeah, and by the way, all the races in this season are 1 lap. It really makes it feel a lot more fast-paced. You can't really do much if you get knocked down, unfortunately, because you don't have much time to catch up. However, you can get into other races quicker and you can farm rep in multiplayer quicker as well. Of course, you are still limited in that respect due to the fuel system of the cars, but if you have multiple cars that you use, you can still do pretty well with it. So here we've caught up to the Asterion. He goes left, I go right. I believe going right is definitely faster because it is at this point that I managed to get ahead of him. And before I forget to mention it, because I did forget in my video about the update, anti-aliasing is now on Windows and the Nitro looks a little bit different. So 2 little graphics changes there. The anti-aliasing really does make a big difference though. So we come in barely first with that Asterion right on our tail. I believe we are about 5 miles per hour faster than a 4-star Asterion. That other 488 didn't do so well. So in this race, we are facing 2 other Legions United members, and the cars we are facing are 4 other 488 GTBs and 2 Asterions. It seems like in about half my races above 1800 rating, there have been more 488s, and about half there have been more Asterions. So both cars are pretty equally popular this multiplayer season up in Legend League. Again, a lot of the Asterions are probably lower rated, at least by a little bit, but I have seen some Legend League people driving them, and some people have said it's nearly as good as the 488. Now, I have tried it a couple times in Legend League. I have not had as good results in it as with the 488, so I personally do not think that is the case, but some people may find the slightly easier driving of the Asterion A+. I just find that the 5 miles per hour or so superior speed of the 488 makes the difference in a lot of cases. The person right ahead of us is ProTM Zachy D. Now, I know Zachy from quite a while back, and when we meet each other in multiplayer, we kind of have a silent pact, as we have with most of our friends, to not knock each other down on purpose. Thankfully, that is what happened in this race, and we get to the end with a very nice close battle. Dear GameLoft, please remove Ground 360 so we can have nice close races like that one without people knocking each other down all the time. Now for our final race of the video, which is against another Legions United member, Predator, who we also raced in the previous race. The cars we are facing are 3 other 488s and 3 other Asterions. I think these are the only 2 cars we have faced in the entire video. We've not seen a single J50, even in the J50 season. We will probably see some, at least a couple, in my Asterion video, but because it would take so many thousands of tokens to upgrade the J50 to the point where it would even be competitive with the 488 and Asterion, both at 4 stars, most people just used their 488 or Asterions and left their J50 at 1 or 2 stars. Maybe used it to reach Legend League, if you could even do that with a 2-star J50, and then switched to their better cars. So now it's time for my general review about this car. It is a pretty good car. In all aspects, it is quite decent. It doesn't exactly have anything super bad about it, nor anything super good about it. So all in all, it's just a good car to drive, and probably the best one this season. So this other 488 comes right up next to us, but we go up this ramp with our shockwave and then round the final bend, shockwave again, and cross the finish line in first place. That was a very close race. And that is how I got to 1885 rating in just a 3-star 488. Now earlier today when I recorded these races, there was 1 day and 18 hours left in the season. And I was at 29 rank on the leaderboard, so I figured I would just quit playing and not risk dropping out of top 100. Thank you all for watching. Please like the video if you enjoyed and consider subscribing for more Asphalt 8 and 9 content. And I'll see you later. Goodbye!